Hello guys, I'm Tom, and today we will find out who Art the Clown is. One of the most terrifying, mysterious, and enigmatic sinister clowns we have seen in the world of cinema and the horror genre is Art the Clown, who appeared in the various works of director Damien Leone, such as the short film The Ninth Circle, and also appeared in the 2013 movie All Hallows Eve and the 2017 film Terrifier. Art the Clown is a mysterious creature, as although he seems to be just a man dressed as a clown who kills his victims for no apparent reason, he is actually a kind of demonic entity, or a very powerful malevolent being with some supernatural abilities who appears on Halloween nights to unleash chaos and death. It is because of his terrifying physical appearance, the mystery surrounding him, and his incredible abilities that Art the Clown is considered one of the most terrifying characters we have seen in recent horror cinema, and one of the most powerful in the slasher genre. That's why in this video, I will explain in detail what we know about the story and origins of Art the Clown, and for this, I will make a complete summary of his appearances in the various shorts and films. I will then also explain his physical appearance, his personality and behavior, as well as his incredible supernatural abilities. Art the Clown first appeared in the 2008 short film by director Damien Leone titled The Ninth Circle. Here, he makes his debut as a character and serves as the secondary antagonist of the short as he pursues a woman named Casey, whom he initially seems to want to cheer up and make laugh by offering her plastic flowers. However, it is revealed that he has sinister intentions and wants to turn Casey's life into a horrible nightmare. The story of this short is quite simple, starting with young Casey, who enters the waiting area of a train station on the late afternoon of Halloween. She seems to be alone there, and begins to take a book from her bag to read and pass the time. The clown appears and starts to bother the girl, as at first, it seems that he wants to make her laugh. When he arrives at the station, Casey's nightmare begins. He starts to follow her, and then attacks her, taking her from this place to a kind of satanic cult, where she is to be sacrificed and participate in a ritual with two other women. In this short, Art serves as a secondary antagonist, a character who, while important to the plot, does not directly participate in the final acts of the story. This short was included by the director in the 2013 film All Hallows Eve, along with other shorts featuring the character of Art the Clown. Art's second appearance occurs in this film, and he makes a kind of cameo. In the second segment of this film, we are introduced to a woman named Caroline, who lives in a remote rural house. She has a terrifying experience with an alien, and at the end of the short, Caroline removes a sheet covering one of her husband's paintings, revealing that he was painting Art the Clown. The third segment of the film, which is actually the short that the director released in 2012 titled Terrifier, shows the story of a clothing designer and her terrifying encounter with Art the Clown. The woman is driving down a desolate road and stops at a gas station, where she witnesses the attendant insult Art the Clown and expel him from the establishment because he made the restroom filthy with excrement in a very disgusting and dirty manner. Shortly after this, the attendant helps the woman pump gas into her car and gives her some directions to reach her destination. While this happens, a strange noise comes from inside the store, so the attendant goes to investigate and says it won't take long. When the man doesn't return, the woman decides to check if everything is okay. She stumbles upon a grotesque and morbid scene. Art the Clown is cutting the man with a kind of saw and then brutally kills him. Horrified by this, the woman runs out of the store, gets into her car, and tries to escape the area, though she believes she has escaped from the strange killer clown. Art begins to chase her in a supernatural way, as he starts to appear in front of her on the road or beside it, until he appears in the back seat of her car and attempts to suffocate her with a kind of plastic that the clothing designer had in her car. Fortunately, she slams on the brakes and frees herself from Art. She then escapes the car and runs into a kind of warehouse nearby. She hides and seeks refuge there. However, Art manages to get to this place and, using a device filled with blades, tries to harm the woman. Still, she defends herself and stabs Art in the eye with a scalpel, then attacks him with a knife, injuring him in the body. The woman escapes this place and considers asking a man with his car for help, who picks her up and tries to take her to the nearest police station. Art continues chasing her by driving his car and kills the driver with a gun, causing the car to crash into a tree. After this, the designer wakes up in what appears to be an operating room in a hospital, and here she realizes that her limbs and other parts of her body have been amputated by Art, who seems to be laughing at the terrible violence he has unleashed. In the movie All Hallows Eve, we see a babysitter named Sarah, who, after realizing that the children she is babysitting received a VHS tape after trick-or-treating, feels disturbed by everything she saw. She turns off the television. However, she is startled again when Art appears in the video scene and tries to attack Sarah from the TV screen. She then sees herself in the video with Art, who is in the small room behind her, about to kill her. Because of this, she removes the VHS from the player and destroys it, which seemingly makes Art the clown disappear. She then calls to report that the children are fine, as they are asleep in their rooms. However, she realizes that they were murdered by the malevolent clown. Art the Clown's next appearance is in the 2016 film Terrifier. Here we see Art again, now in the area known as Miles County. Art carries a trash bag filled with various weapons and drags it in a sinister manner down the street on Halloween night. Two young friends, Tara and Dawn, leave a party a bit intoxicated, and when they walk back to Dawn's car, they see a man dressed as a clown who is revealed to be Art. Dawn taunts the clown a bit as she is drunk and mocks Art, saying things to get his attention, since she wants him to come closer because her friend Tara is scared of clowns. Eventually, Art slashes the car tires, and because the young women are intoxicated, they struggle to get into a nearby restaurant, a pizzeria, to sober up. Curiously, Art follows them into the place. Here, Dawn continues playing with the clown and mocks her friend Tara, who is very afraid of clowns. Eventually, the pizzeria owner angrily kicks Art out, as he had soiled the restroom with excrement. When the young women leave the pizzeria and realize their car doesn't work because the tires are flat, they decide to call Dawn's sister, Victoria, to pick them up. Shortly after this, the girls leave the pizzeria, and Art returns to the place seeking revenge. He brutally, horribly, and violently kills the pizzeria owner and his employee. He then leaves the place and notices that the girls are in Dawn's car, waiting for Victoria. Since Tara needs to use the bathroom, she leaves Dawn's car and asks a worker from a nearby building if she can use the restroom, as the place is under renovation. He agrees without any trouble, but when she takes the opportunity to go inside, Art captures Dawn, gets into her car, and begins to plan what he will do with the other girl and the building employees. Art enters this place and kills the young Dawn, the worker, and an older woman who tries to comfort Art. Then, the clown chases Dawn's sister, Victoria, when she arrives at the location. While searching for her sister, she trips and is directly attacked, being brutally mutilated. Later, when the police arrive at the scene and try to stop Art, he uses a gun and shoots himself in the head, seemingly dying. However, because we know he is a supernatural being, this is not the case. Now that we have covered all of this in detail, I will talk about Art's physical appearance, what we know about his personality and behavior, how I believe he gained his powers, and I will also explain his incredible supernatural abilities. Art the Clown looks simply like an ordinary clown, with a traditional black and white costume. He usually carries a trash bag filled with weapons, dragging it with him constantly. His face is his most terrifying physical feature, as it looks very sinister. It is completely white due to clown makeup, while his eyes, mouth, and eyebrows are painted black. He also wears a small hat on his head which has no hair. On his hands, he wears gloves that are quite worn and old. It is revealed in the movie Terrifier that Art's features belong to a Caucasian man with shaved eyebrows. Overall, he has a thin build and is a bit taller than average. While Art usually looks this way, his physical appearance has changed slightly from the first short film to the latest movie, especially because in Terrifier his mouth is full of dirty, grotesque, and decayed teeth, and his head has a more normal shape, with his cheeks deeply sunken, an overly pointed nose, and an elongated chin, giving him a very unnatural appearance. All of these small changes make Art even more terrifying and malevolent. Art is a vile, dangerous, and deranged clown who seems to greatly enjoy and be amused by violently killing anyone who gets in his way. He doesn't really care what is said or done to him, because if an opportunity arises, he will take it and kill anyone. He loves to kill and torture his victims, mutilating them, which is his preferred method of attack. He possesses some supernatural abilities that he deliberately uses to induce fear in his victims and to psychologically torture them before killing them. He is quite dedicated as a serial killer and doesn't stop at anything. He feels excited when chasing his victims, as he enjoys terrorizing and stalking people. He generally kills his victims in a slow, violent, and sadistic manner. However, on some occasions, he spares some people's lives, such as Sarah and Victoria, whom he does not kill, but leaves traumatized and almost driven mad for life, as no one believes them, and they are mocked. Art's behavior is quite peculiar, as he acts like a mime and is a silent clown who never speaks or makes any sound, even when he is attacked and severely injured. He simply mimics screaming in pain like a mime, but doesn't actually make any sound. He also laughs silently when he's about to kill his victims. Another interesting thing is that he acts in an exaggerated manner, like a cartoon, when chasing his victims. Unlike other silent killers in the slasher genre, like Jason Voorhees or Michael Myers, Art is very expressive and emotional, using gestures and facial expressions to communicate. It is not really known whether Art cannot speak or if he simply chooses not to. Most fans believe the latter, although some people think that Art is a misogynistic clown, as he seems to kill his female victims in very grotesque, sadistic, and morbid ways. According to director Damien Leone, this is not the case, as he stated that Art is evil and sadistic toward everyone who crosses his path, regardless of gender, and that he kills anyone he sees an opportunity to kill. He even mentioned that in Terrifier, Art kills more men than women, and that some of the deaths, according to the director, are just as horrible as the deaths of the women, like the case of the pizzeria employee and the worker from the building, whom he decapitates. Many fans thought that Art was misogynistic and concluded that the outcome would be that way because he had a difficult childhood with some maternal issues or serious problems with his mother, as fans claim that his mother mistreated him and hit him. This is why, according to those who support this theory, in one scene in Terrifier, Art seemingly lets the Catwoman comfort him, as she gently strokes his face and then gives him a maternal hug, as if she were a mother with her small child, while he sucks his finger like a baby. This was also denied by the director, who mentioned that Art acts this way simply to lower the Catwoman's guard and give him a good opportunity to kill her. Art enjoys playing with his victims, not only physically, but also psychologically. Many of the Clown's fans, including myself, believe that the movie Terrifier is the first movie of Art the Clown chronologically, as per this theory, the events we see in All Hallows Eve occur after. It is likely that Art was, at first, just a strange human being with a psychopathic personality who enjoyed killing people for fun, being a serial killer clown. However, it is also possible that he worshipped some demon or supernatural entity, a powerful being. When he shoots himself in the head at the end of Terrifier, he does die as a human, as a mortal. After his death, the demon or malevolent entity he worshipped revives him, and, according to this theory, grants him all of his supernatural powers, turning him into a much more powerful and demonic being, who is completely immortal and one of the most powerful killers in cinema. This is confirmed when, at the beginning of the film, we see survivor Victoria on a television show recounting her story and what happened when she encountered Art. She says that the police confirmed that Art's body disappeared from the morgue and was never identified, which seems to confirm this fan theory. It is important to note that director Damien Leone commented in an interview that Art did not know he was going to come back to life after shooting himself in the head, and that he didn't actually know he had supernatural powers and abilities. It is likely that this is why, in the events of All Hallows' Eve, Art is so powerful that he kidnaps Casey to take her, as she will be sacrificed for his master, the entity responsible for reviving him and making him into such a powerful being. This supernatural entity possesses some incredible abilities that make it almost impossible to defeat and very difficult to escape from once it has chosen its victims. First of all, it is immortal and cannot die through conventional methods, like regular humans. It also has incredible durability, as severe attacks don't really harm it. It has regenerative abilities as well, allowing it to heal any type of wound easily. It possesses superhuman strength, enabling it to catch its victims and kill them with just its hands without much difficulty, or to mutilate them with any instrument, even if it's not sharp. He is also an excellent marksman and is very skilled at handling guns and firearms. He is relentless, stealthy, and uses this trait to attack and kill his victims in strategic and tactical ways. As a demonic entity, he possesses a kind of clairvoyance that allows him to know where his victims are at all times. This also allows him to carefully monitor his surroundings and the area where he is carrying out his killings. Additionally, he can transport himself at will, appearing and disappearing anywhere he chooses, which helps him catch his victims. It is believed that he can slightly alter reality if he wishes, and he is also aware of everyone who is watching him, even if they are viewing him through video recordings, as in the case of Sarah. It is also implied that he has even more supernatural abilities that we haven't fully seen in the movies and shorts, making him an invincible being to any human. This is why he has no known weakness. Director Damien Leone commented that he wanted to create a character similar to the classic serial killers we have seen in horror films, but at the same time, he wanted to make a clown very different from Pennywise. This is why Art doesn't speak, and why his entire costume and makeup have no color, being a clown in black and white, more similar in appearance to a mime. This was how he created the character for his shorts, with the intention of making a film with Art as the main protagonist. However, this idea had to be postponed, as some producers who supported his project asked him to make the anthology All Hallows' Eve first. The actor who originally portrayed the clown was Mike Giannelli. However, he retired from acting and was replaced by David Howard Thornton, who played the clown in Terrifier. Thornton mentioned that he was greatly inspired by Giannelli's performance, as it laid a solid foundation for the character. He also took aspects from the classic characters of Charlie Chaplin, some elements from Freddy Krueger, as portrayed by Robert Englund, Pennywise as portrayed by Tim Curry, and certain mannerisms from the various depictions of the Joker in Batman. Something interesting is that many horror genre fans, and some critics who are also fans of the genre, have commented that Art is one of the most iconic characters in modern horror, and according to some, he is destined to be a slasher icon on the same level as Freddy Krueger, Jason Voorhees, Leatherface, and Michael Myers. Personally, while I do like Art the Clown, I don't see him at that level just yet, although perhaps in a few years, he might become a horror icon. However, in my opinion, he is not there yet. Regarding everything we know about Art the Clown, honestly, this character doesn't appeal to me much, as he is quite sadistic and grotesque, especially when attacking his victims. I also don't like the fact that he seems to have a sort of misogynistic attitude, as according to many fans of the films, he appears to be more aggressive with his female victims, killing them in very horrendous and sinister ways, which we often see in the movies. While it's possible that the director didn't intend for Art to be like this, I can see why it has sparked some controversy and drama. Despite these negative aspects, I did really like his appearance and physical look, as although it's somewhat simple, I think it's quite striking and memorable, which sets him apart from other film killers like Pennywise, Stitches, and the Horny Clown. I really enjoy the mystery surrounding the character, and how director Damien Leone has kept him as an enigma, which makes fans speculate a lot about Art's true motivations and how he truly became some kind of demon or powerful entity. It is because of his brilliant and macabre design, along with how powerful and mysterious he is, that I believe Art is one of the coolest slasher villain characters we've seen in modern horror. Still, as I mentioned earlier, I wouldn't recommend his movies at all if you are underage. Let me know your opinion in the comments below. Did you know Art the Clown? Do you know his possible origins? What trait of Art do you think is the scariest, and why? And lastly, do you agree with the theory I mentioned in the video, or do you think he has always been some kind of powerful demon? Comment your response to this question and your general opinion about Art the Clown below. As always, thank you so much for watching this video. I truly appreciate it. If you liked it, share it to support the channel. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of my new videos.